Coventry's Roy Wegerle is among the assortment of foreign players in our domestic game who will be gracing the World Cup next summer. He joins the United States team as soon as our season ends. And teammate Phil Babb is another who might make it with Jack Charlton's Republic of Ireland, courtesy of an Irish mother. He was in the squad for the qualifying game in Belfast. But it's an everyday quest for league points that's today's priority. Both sides are unchanged. West Ham as they were in losing here 1-0 to Leeds 4 days ago. Number 14, Ian Bishop, who'll run central midfield, having overcome doubts about flu. Coventry field the same team that completed the double over Arsenal last Saturday. Number 10, Mickey Quinn, got the crucial goal for them then, and indeed 4 of his 7 this season have come against the Gunners. Keith Cooper of Pontypridd, our referee this afternoon. And Coventry in the goal shirts, attacking the goal to the right, forcing Steve Grizovic to make an early kick. When these two teams met in the third match of the season, it ended in a 1-1 draw up at Highfield Road. Dale Gordon scoring for West Ham, Roy Wegerle equalising for Coventry. Nicely laid down by Morley, and then Holmes trying to get it back from Lee Chapman, but it was Peter Atherton who'd covered. Bishop. West Ham have to hurry. Rennie lets it drop. That took a rebound off the chest of Atherton. It's put Lee Chapman in possession. Morley comes to the near post. Oh! Grizovic made the save, and he just made himself as big as he could at the feet of Morley. It was a fortunate rebound that put Lee Chapman free on the left. And as Morley made the run to the near post, Chapman found him, and Grizovic spread himself to concede the corner. Came off Wegerle. And Coventry have pulled everybody back into their own penalty area. Some confusion among the players about whether it was another corner or a throw. And the throw has finally been taken. And I think it was Marsh who was just caught offside. Trevor Morley, joint top scorer with 7 this season, one of those from a penalty. Atherton and Rennie, who were involved for Coventry. Look how much time Chapman's got here, maybe too much. Potts looking for a target. Chapman available. Nicely taken down by Butler. Marsh, back to Butler. Oh, good ball. Breacker on a break. He hasn't scored since last Christmas. He has now. Oh, Tim Breacker loves the festive season. And West Ham open the scoring with 12 minutes gone. What a good link-up that was between the West Ham players, and Breacker, the fullback, on the overlap, running into space, and when he wanted the ball played in front of him, it was. And from that sort of a position, a goal was inevitable. And let's credit the contribution by Peter Butler as well. He's played all his football previously with clubs in the lower leagues before arriving at West Ham last season. But his part in the build-up to that goal was so crucial. Boland wasn't quite sure where that was going, and that'll be another West Ham throw. Lee Chapman, Rennie behind him. And Chapman will now jog off into the penalty area, and Burrows will endeavour to get it to him. And he has. And Morley, they're trying to tee it up. Butler was blocked by Rennie. Breaker for Marsh to pursue, closely marked by Morgan. And Babb's clearance has gone inevitably to Butler. Seems to be getting on the end of everything. Chapman won it. In by Marsh. You'd have to say that West Ham could be 3 up in this match. And Mike Marsh may well feel that he should have opened his scoring account for his new club with that sort of effort from that sort of distance, and no defender within 2 or 3 yards. Bishop. That time he ignored Burrows, but Matt Holmes didn't. Holmes chipped up for Chapman at the back post. Morley goes in. Agrizovic was there, and play continues. Well, there was a moment when most of the crowd seemed to think the whistle would go then for perhaps a push by Morley on Agrizovic. Well, there's no doubt here that Chapman does get free of his marker at the back post, but he doesn't quite get his forehead onto the ball properly. And the referee seeing no offence there as Morley went in on the keeper. Haven't been many opportunities for Mickey Quinn to show his goal-scoring touch. Goals in 14 games he scored when he arrived at Coventry for £250,000 a year ago. Finished the season with 17, and the foot was high. But David Burrows isn't the sort of player to complain. Referee's having a quiet word with Flynn. Butler to run at them. Marsh gives it in back. Butler. Still Butler! Oh, what a good goal! And how richly deserved by a player who's been the star of the first half. And again, a little spell of football by West Ham that you can only sit back and enjoy. Butler started it. Marsh gave it in back. Butler took it in his stride. Maybe there was a little knock on there from Morley, but Butler was right through the heart of them and in off the foot of the post to put West Ham 2 up. Yes, there was a little touch from Morley which was instrumental. But Peter Butler gets his first of the season with 5 minutes to go to half-time, and it's a peach. Knocked up for Roy Wegerle with his back to goal. That's Julian Darby, and he's found him well. Darby! Coventry have pulled one back. Julian Darby popping up, and it is immediate riposte from Coventry. Wegerle, who played it into the path of Darby, he held off the challenge of Butler and put it wide of Miklosko. So Coventry's reply is immediate. Butler pumping through the middle. This is Marsh. Lee Chapman. Butler. And Bishop. David Burrows might think about hitting one. Oh, and he does strike a great ball, doesn't he, David Burrows? It was a lovely height. And the 6'4" Coventry goalkeeper had to be at full stretch. And as the first half moves into added time, West Ham have a corner. But you could hardly strike one better than that. Chapman got the header down. Rennie missed it. And that's the final act of the first half. A first half in which West Ham looked to be in total control. The first goal from Breacker, and then that real quality strike from Peter Butler. But Coventry replied immediately with Julian Darby pulling one back. So at half-time here at Upton Park, it's West Ham 2, Coventry 1, and a really exciting game to enjoy. West Ham start the second half wanting to pick up from where they were after Peter Butler scored. And maybe the celebrations at having gone 2-0 up went on just a few seconds too long. Holmes to knock it in. Came off the head of Atherton. Butler arrives. And the shot on the turn by Mike Marsh. So West Ham tried to make amends right at the start of the second half. Coventry were unbeaten in their first 8 league games of the season and were 4th in the table, but they've slipped somewhat since, back down into the bottom half and 15th place. Quinn, Wegerle. This is Quinn. Stung the hands of Miklosko, who stood up to it at the near post. Coventry will certainly feel more confident that there might be something in this match for them as a result of that goal by Julian Darby. Backheader by Moore. This is Chapman. Marsh. Breacker goes on the overlap. Butler. Bishop retrieves it. Burrows. This is Tony Gale. Chapman steered it down nicely to Butler. Matt Holmes. Came off the head of Rennie. This is Breacker. Again, West Ham enjoying a long spell of possession around Coventry's penalty area. Marsh, shouldered over, yes, the linesman's put the flag on his chest, and the referee has pointed at the spot, and young Peter Undlub may be increasingly frustrated at the lack of opportunities he's had because of how tightly he's been marked by Tim Breacker, has conceded a penalty. Pushing Marsh in the back before either of them had the ball under control. Both referee and linesman in unison. Trevor Morley, who's placed the ball. An opportunity to give West Ham a lead of 3-1 with an hour played. Well, the scoreline doesn't flatter West Ham in any way because they've played some really good football this afternoon, but it's from the penalty spot that the third goal finally arrives. Well, West Ham were 4th bottom with just 5 points and 1 win at the start of the season. Then came the 3 new players, and that away match at Blackburn, they won 2-0, and they haven't looked back since. Morley trying to tee it up for somebody. Bishop hit the crossbar against Leeds in midweek, but it was a rueful smile at where that one finished up. Potts. This is Peter Atherton. Quinn. Darby's available. And now Rennie. Nice little flick. Good ball in. Oh, great header. And Julian Darby gets his second goal of the match. And at both ends this afternoon, there have been real quality strikes. It's a really inviting ball played in, and Julian Darby getting to it first and pulling another goal back for Coventry with some 13 minutes left. Offside. Marsh hadn't got back. £150,000 signing in October, and he was always going to get to that one first. This is Atherton. And Coventry may well feel they can get something out of this. Look at the pace of Williams. Strong tackle by Tony Gale. And Coventry are looking at the linesman and the referee, and neither feel there was a penalty in it. It was inside the penalty area, and the Coventry players, led by John Williams, are still looking across at the linesman, and it doesn't look from that angle as though Tony Gale got anything of the ball. Well, John Williams has a terrific turn of heel, and Phil Neal certainly knows that. The player who won the sprint challenge a season or two ago. Morley kept it in play. Burrows. Rennie slipped. This is Marsh. Still Marsh. Oh, good play by Marsh. Oh, he could save a Grizovic, but neat little footwork by Mike Marsh. Hardly seemed possible that he could keep possession of that, or that he could get through, what, 4 defenders, but he did. And Grizovic put his hand up to knock it behind for the corner. Marsh. Burrows. Holmes. Makes space for the cross into the penalty area. Still Holmes. Pulled it back to Tony Gale. Allen. It wouldn't come down, and anyway, there were players offside. Maybe the best chance was the one which fell to Tony Gale there. Matt Holmes wriggling into the penalty area. Gale was at full stretch, and as Allen hit this, Lee Chapman was offside. Well, managers can only watch and wait and hope, and wonder how much Keith Cooper will add on. Breacker down the touchline. Chapman is in the middle. Butler and Marsh, and there goes the whistle. A real rip-roaring league match, a quality game in the Premier League, which West Ham have won by 3-2. Trevor Morley's penalty after 60 minutes, giving West Ham that commanding 3-1 lead after Julian Darby had pulled one back in the first half. At full time here at Upton Park, it's West Ham 3, Coventry 2.